Welcome to Grateful Harmony. My name is Reverend Simon Ruth, and you are most welcome here. So Grateful Harmony is a chance of exploring the sacred through song and conversation and people singing together with a little bit of ritual. And the ritual we're going to explore today is stillness. And I love that you can explore stillness through song. Sounds like a paradox. If there's a paradox, God must be close by.
That's really good.
And we've got at least four people online. Hi. So thank you for being here. I'm going to open with a prayer from Scotland by John Philip Newell, who I know. We pause to listen for the beat of your presence in all things, pulsating in the light of distant galaxies, sounding in the depths of our soul, vibrating in each vein of Earth's body. One sound as vast as the universe, one universe filled with presence, one life within every life. This is not Trina. This is my very good friend Aimée, who stepped in because Trina realised that she really couldn't be here this weekend. So I explored options, and Aimée was in town and not at a festival. And the last time Aimée and I played together was for Solstice.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Summer or winter?
Winter solstice.
Far too long.
I know, but
too long.
You're only... You're a seasonal musical partner of mine. Autumn and winter only, because in the summer and spring you're too busy singing with thousands of people.
And here we are. It's August.
So this is like a beautiful little thing, and I'm very excited that Aimée is here. Thank you for being here, my friend.
It's such an honor to be here. You asked me on Monday, and I said yes, because I love you. I love the space that you make available. I love the musician and the being of honoring the sacred that you are, and it just feeds me to be around you and play with you, so as many times as possible it's going to be a yes. And then when you told me what the theme was, I was like, oh yeah. Do you guys know what the theme is?
Nope.
Stillness amongst the chaos.
I wrote to several friends about the live stream, and one of them said, if you're watching, I love you, that currently she's fostering 2 twin babies and has been for the last several months, so stillness and chaos would be great. And just the way that we carry it in our hearts, and the songs about the things that help us orient in the midst of that make up the set lists that we have. And already I'm excited just about what's on my list, and I'm really excited to see what's influencing yours.
Please sing us a song.
This feels like a great way to start. There's folks in the congregation or audience. We're in the Unitarian Church, but it used to be a bowling alley, so you're the congregation audience.
Unity. We're in unity, spiritual enrichment.
Not Unitarian. Yes.
Everybody confuses us, which I think is wonderful.
And
Because the same people go to both churches.
It's true. So we're in the Unity Spiritual Enrichment Center that used to be the Enrichment Center of Bowling. And
really roller skating.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
The co-op is the bowling.
That's right. Thank you. The co-op is the former bowling alley. This is the former roller skating rink.
Very occasionally in the meditation on Sunday morning, I get little images of people on roller skates going round, and it just catches my attention for a second, and then I go back into it's my very playful mind.
Surely they're still doing the Lord's work. We don't say the Lord in here. Anyways, but to say that in this crowd of people sitting, watching us, and being present with us and receiving what we have musically, tonight there are some folks from Sounding Joy, which is the community singing group. And this song I've taught at least once there. This is by my dear friend Annie Zylstra, who lives in Wisconsin. And this feels like just a great way to start, even when I just sit still in my body increasingly I get aware of what an active thing that is. Stillness is very active, particularly for a human being. There's no way I will be totally still until I am not alive anymore. Living means that there's activity happening. And so this song just feels like a good exploration of that, and it's actually kind of a comfort because there's a surrender to the motion that I think happens for me every time in stillness. So I'm going to sing the whole thing and then teach it a little, but since I'm also performing, I'd prefer it if you could just join in. I believed in solid ground until I saw the earth in motion, in the winds of steady change, and in the ever-rolling ocean. I believed in solid ground. I believed in solid ground until I saw the earth in motion. Until I saw the earth in motion, in the winds of steady change, in the winds of steady change, and in the ever-rolling ocean, and in the ever-rolling ocean. Two at a time. I believed, or with me, in solid ground until I saw the earth in motion. Let's just do the whole thing. Watch my mouth. In the winds of steady change, in the ever-rolling ocean, in the ever-rolling ocean. Again, I believe in solid ground until I saw the earth in motion, in the winds of steady change, and in the ever-rolling ocean. I believe in solid ground, till I saw the earth in motion. I believe in the winds of steady change. Never mind. In the ever-rolling ocean. Took a gamble. I believe in solid ground until I saw the earth in motion, in the winds of steady change, and in the ever-rolling ocean. Thank you.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm listening to where the song was. Is my vocal loud enough? Can you hear it?
Louder.
Can you put me up? Because I'm actually shouting quite loud. Yeah.
For a Scotsman.
Oh, I like to shout. So there's a practice of listening to where the song was that I love to do. When I'm doing youth work and I'm having a break, or I see one of the kids and they're not doing anything, I say, "You're praying, aren't you?" But with me, it's usually true. I gotta sing a song I almost never play.
I love it when he says that.
So we're using stillness as a shorthand for a quality of presence that we don't know how to explain. And I first came across this probably in nature, but then as a teenager, I started learning about active listening and where somebody else can hold your story, and in between the person holding your story and you telling your secrets, as it was, there's a peace, a quality of stillness that is very rich. And that's what this song is about. I wrote this when I was a youth worker, youth counsellor for the kids who'd been traumatized by their families, which happens sometimes. Just have to remember how to play it. I've played this in so long, I'm just taking a little minute. Blue ocean, full of feeling, hold on to the gentle patience in his eyes. You're worth so much more than you could ever realize. 'Cause you're worth life, beautiful life. Time will carry you, flashback to all the sorrows lost behind your eyes. You're worth life, fight back with all the anger you ever felt inside. Holds me so closely, tells me all the secret sorrows of her sighs. And you're worth so much more than you could ever realize. Ocean, full of feeling, hold on to the gentle patience in her eyes. You're worth so much more than you could ever realize. You're worth life, beautiful life. Just thinking about those young adults and realizing it was 18 years ago. And their little kids, for the ones that have kids, are adults now. If you're watching, all you people from Stonewall Youth Project, I still remember you and love you. Still sing that song for you. So there's a stillness, that can exist between people. We can hold that. We can hold somebody else's heart. And after we tune. Thank you for listening so beautifully.
Oh my gosh, you guys are great.
Can't hear you very well back here.
So,
Thank you for listening so beautifully.
what you're going to need to do, my wonderful apprentice sound engineer, is put the master volume up and then individually put the other ones down.
doing two in a row? What are we doing?
I'm just going to tune up. Here we go. You guys on?
I realized I didn't bring my drum, and then I realized I still have a hollow
We have
boxy
a
thing.
cajon here.
I've got a drummy thing. Okay. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear this in a chappy, piddly kind of way? So this song is, I'm eternally indebted to the people whose, I feel like I'm a couple steps behind on the path of whatever, of spirit, of, in this case, I'll call it bardic practice, because this woman who wrote this song, S.J. Tucker, who lives in Arkansas, she's a musician, she is an instrumentalist, she is a writer and a creative storyteller, trickster, pixie. I've never, even just like, I saw her in concert twice, and then just seeing her example and seeing the way she is with her fans and seeing the life of music and her creativity that she's made for herself, it's like that's a full living of what she has to carry. And a couple of years ago, she was doing a fundraising project where she was raising money for the next touring vehicle. This woman tours incessantly, like this is her life.
More than you.
I don't tour very much, you have no idea. I'm just gone a lot, there's a difference. I do perform. This woman puts me to shame. Puts me to inspiration, I'll say. And in order to raise, one of the ways of raising money, one of the ways of supporting her was that the previous year, she had been part of a artist-supported accountability songwriting group where you write a song a week for a year. And it's diligent. You have to show up at a certain time, you have to have the song be 2 minutes long, you have to submit the lyrics, and then you just give each other feedback, and it's just to stay in it, to stay warm as a creative being. And she, like, if you contribute this much money, if you contribute like $10, they'll give you the 10 best songs that came out of that endeavor. If you give me $20, the 20 best songs. If you give me $40 or more, I'll give you the whole shebang. And I was like, I love you, I love your brain, I love your creative process, and I really want to support your work. So I gave her the $40 or more, and I got like 52 S.J. Tucker songs, and some of them were chants, and some of them were fully formed songs, and some of them, like, she had given more time to, and this was a chant, and absolutely blew me away. She has a really amazing relationship with mythical characters and relationship, and this was taking the character of the Sphinx, like the Egyptian Sphinx that's part cat and part mysterious human face, and they ask you questions, and if you don't answer the questions, either she eats you or like whatever the myth says about her, but that her eyes are timeless, and you have to look into her eyes and not be afraid, among other things. And she takes that mythology and then overlays it with looking in the mirror and talking about that woman, that being of infinite wisdom being the one she's making eye contact with in the mirror. So we can talk about the stillness and quality of presence with each other, and like, when's the last time I had that with my own reflection? When's the last time I looked with true reverence and respect at the human being I get to be, and use the tool of a mirror to do that, so. She is a mirror of me, Sphinx and spirit of generosity, telling me that what will be is nothing I can handle. And she is a mirror of me, Sphinx and scion of generosity, delivering the truth to me whenever I should find the need. So is it the mirror I see when my sister seer is speaking? How can my reflection be a woman wise and strong as she? But she is a mirror of me, Sphinx and spirit of generosity, telling me that what will be is nothing I can't handle. She is a mirror of me, Yeah, she is a mirror of me, sphinx and silent of generosity, offering a taste to me of the only answer that I need.
I often wonder how people who don't play music survive.
I would not.
Yeah.
Okay, probably, but I don't know how.
But one of the things I've discovered, especially from playing for young people, I'm like, what do you do when your life is terrible? What do you do? And they say that they'll go and they'll put their earphones in and walk in the park and listen to music really loud. And I was like, oh, that's the same as playing it.
It really is.
And as a musician, you get emails from people that say how you're mirroring their story. And it's usually Deep Peace or Beautiful Boy that people, random strangers from around the world, to say, hey, there's that song and it holds so much meaning for me. And then they tell you their story and it's just so beautiful. But I got an email from you about a song that you actually recorded with me about how it was mirroring your truth. And it's called Unfolding. And I'd like you to play it with me.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty cool that the person that recorded it with me a year later was listening to it and heard your story in it.
Oh, good gracious, it's so true. Wait, give me. I need to tune with you, we can't just. You and I played this in my cabin with a fire hazard worth of people,
Yes.
filling more, 33 people in like a 260 square foot cabin. And during this part of the winter solstice ritual that we did, we had vigil candles passed out and turned off the lights, and the whole place was just full of candlelight, and everyone was singing with us, and everyone loved that so much that everyone just kept their candles lit for the next half hour. Like usually in church or wherever, that's only for one song. And I was always so sad as a child that we would blow out the candles. And in that night, nobody wanted to, and this song was kind of the one that was burning brightest that night and still in my heart.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. When you write a song about a very lonely place and then you share it with everybody and you realize it's everybody's song and you're singing it with great inclusion and joy. It's really amazing. Please sing along. The song was smaller before I went on tour with Aimée here around Scotland in 2012. We didn't know each other, but we went on tour because I knew it would be okay. Because when I said, where do you want to go in Scotland? She said, I want to go to Iona and Findhorn. I want to visit an old yew tree. I want to go lots of places like that. And I thought, you should go on tour with me. And that's exactly what we did.
You said, I believe your words were, I could tell you, but it'd be better if I took you. And I was like, okay, I'll follow you anywhere, crazy Scotsman, let's go.
And we were playing this and the song just changed and the la 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 part came in.
Was that not there before?
No.
I can't imagine this song without the la la la.
Listen to
That'll
the
be
first
your
time and you can hear the song without the la la las. Where there's like two people here that have never heard the song before, so I'm going to shut up and sing it now. This dream so tenderly, I cup this fire so lovingly, I breathe in life so carefully, the light it grows beautifully, la beautifully. La la la, la la la, hold this string so lovingly, cup this fire so carefully, I breathe in life so joyfully, the light it grows so beautifully. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, Just because our theme is stillness doesn't mean you can't heckle us.
Heckle us?
Well, ask questions and
Oh,
talk to
right,
us.
totally, please.
And share insights.
Feed the song, as it were.
Feed the song, yeah.
Treating the song like a living thing and saying thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
For
son.
what? Thank you, song, for what?
Being.
Thank you, song, for those la-la-las that sprung out of that wonderful place.
Dennis
Sense
was
of
saying-
joy.
For touching my heart.
Yeah.
Thank you, song, for coming from a place of pain. Sorry, go
Beautiful melody.
ahead. Yeah.
Harmony.
That's you guys.
Thank you, song, for cup this fire so tenderly.
I love that line.
I first came up with that idea because I've done quite a lot of youth work in my life, and sometimes the youth are so badly behaved you don't really have control. And I remember it was really, really windy day, and the recycling van had broken down on the Isle of Mull. So there was no recycling for months, and the cardboard was mounting up, and it was just enormous, and you couldn't get in the building, so I decided to have a bonfire. And I took it to the north end, to this farmer's area, and put all these boxes, and I had just about 4 matches. And I went through 3 of them, and it didn't start. And the farmer was, you know, this is a farmer, and he's watching me. And I see that down in the pit where all the boxes are, there's a bag of shredded paper. So I go and get that, and I take it up to my truck, and I go into the truck, and I rip a hole in the bag, and I light the fire inside the truck. Right? And I mean, like, it's not my truck.
I love where this is going. I love where this
And
is
I
going.
knew that it was my last match, and I knew that if I took it out too soon, it's Iona, the wind's going to blow it out immediately. So I have to wait till it's really going.
Oh, no.
And then I'm running with this ball of fire. Right? Running with this ball of fire, and I throw it over, it goes down and it splits open, and the fire just spreads and the cardboard catches the fire, and it was okay. And I remember thinking, that's exactly what youth work feels like. That year, we had a really It's a friend of mine called Sarah that, anyway, you've met Sarah. The centre that I used to run with my former wife was for families and people with disabilities, and there was another retreat centre on a separate island where the kids from the boys' prison would go. That's how it was set up. It was the kids from boys' prison would have a summer holiday at this. And the islanders said, no, you're not bringing them here. So they found somewhere that was miles away in the middle of nowhere. And now lots of troubled youth go and stay there. That's how I first went there as a youth worker. And that centre was closed. I know those kids still wanted their holiday, so they came to my one, which was on the island, where there was stuff that could be stolen and mischief to be had. And it was fine, everything was okay, but I remember there was a lot of running with big things of fire. You didn't know that, but that's where my idea about cupping fire was. And it felt like it almost...
Cup this fire so frantically.
Well, this was an emotional situation in which there was just a fire that was dying very gently in my hands. In that same retreat centre, in fact. Thank you for listening to my ridiculous story.
Oh my goodness.
Wonderful
I
story.
think I've got you search me and you know me should go next.
Go for it.
Yeah, unless you've got one.
Well, I must admit, I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah, do it.
That song that just came through, it's poking its head out everywhere. And that last one is probably one of my favorites that I've ever shared with anybody. Thank you for that. And this one feels like it wants to follow it, and particularly when you're talking about running with fire, because right now I feel like that's
what's happening.
that kind of stuff's up in life, in my life and in just in the world. And this song came through this summer in the midst of huge love and also huge prospect of like of what it means and what it's for, and the humility of just paying attention to the love that makes us, the love that makes us stand up and take notice and be available to the world. And I feel like there's so many opportunities all around us of a world in distress, like asking for our love within ourselves and around. And in the midst of some immediate personal openings in me and reflecting in the wider world, this song came through. So the thing about it feels similar to Unfolding, where it started in this personal place, and as songs do, it blossomed into something bigger. And when I sing it, it's a straight up prayer to love. And it calls on my Christian roots, which would have just replaced the word love with God in a former part of my life, and I'm glad it doesn't anymore, but I played it to my devout Catholic father a couple weekends ago, and he could receive it as the medicine that he handed me and as the medicine as I'm carrying it forward, kind of thing. And I just can't stop playing it because just in playing it I feel like the human I want to be, so if you would indulge me. And if I weren't playing, I would have my hands open on my lap, so if you want to do me a favor and do that too. You don't have to, but that's what I would be doing if I wasn't playing. I'm going to do love. much of my life is in need of your mending. Oh, love, I am here to remember. And the broken can heal as we open our lives to your wonder. As your wind is rushing through, let us see what love can do. Lord, I will come when you call me. I will swim toward the light, I will take up my life when you call. Oh, love, whatsoever befall me. In your ways I am made, in your ways may I stay through it. As this wind is rushing through, let us see what love can do. Love, I am here as your witness. Here I grow as a tree, as you stand up in me, here I stand. Oh, love, I am here now to live this. As a deep breathing part, love, with all of my heart, here I am. As this wind is rushing through, let us see what love can do. Love, I will go where you send me. Deep within, high above, I will learn from you, love, I will go. Deep within, high above, I will learn from you, love.
Amy, do you feel like you wrote that song? Or did that song write you?
I did have some help, but the initial, I had some really amazing collaboration on that one, and with another human, and the initial wave of it was a prayer that was coming straight from a deep place of longing in my heart, and I picked up my guitar and played this, and that was just enough because instruments and finger picking calms me down. And those were the first words out of my mouth. Love, I will go where you send me. I have no clue where it came from.
So it wrote you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once the formula came through, it was saying, okay, here's this space of longing and intention. What else that is in my life fits that form? And then it was like pointing the thing at the parts of me that needed to be articulated in prayer, and then those all came in. And so it was like, it felt like a complete prayer for exactly where my life is and where the world is in a way, because the world is through my perception of it. And yeah.
We need that song right now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah, we have some little people here. We have Sequoia, Pinky, and River.
Oh.
And I know that they usually leave early. I know that Molly takes Sequoia away. So I wondered if you three had, wanted to say anything or had a request, had any requests of songs.
Thank you for asking that. I'm curious. Not really.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, well, are we doing okay? Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
I have this test with my music, which is I play to children because if they don't like it, they tell you. They'll be like, no, the other songs are better than that one. You shouldn't play that one so much.
Although it's different with recordings, I've noticed.
Oh, I'm just talking, yeah. No, that's
Live is very, yes.
Yeah. So I really value the kids that like my music.
I've had the experience where a child in my life, because I can kind of be like magnanimous, or not, that's the wrong word, but like, not even meaning to be, but I'll have kids be like shy with me. And then I've had experiences at least twice where some kid would have my CD in their house. And as a result of that, they would greet me differently. Because the music that came through, in this case, Golden Thread, the album that I made with Amy Kelly, our hearts were in that. And then the kids are receiving that, and then suddenly the kids are greeting us differently when they see us. And it was a direct result of the music becoming their friends, and I was like,
It's amazing. It's great. It is amazing that
Yeah.
that happens. Yeah.
And I think about the musical friends in my life. Like, I don't know Ani DeFranco personally, but her music has been an ecosystem, like a river running through an ecosystem of my life. And can we call out a couple of the musicians whose music have been friends of yours?
Leonard Cohen.
Mm-hmm. Jazz Bach.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Annie Lennox.
Mm-hmm.
Birdie.
Kate Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Aretha Franklin covered corners of it that nobody else could.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Indigo Girls.
Katie Lang.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa.
Thank you all. You doing well? Adult children doing well?
I'm going to do my version of Psalm 46. Psalm.
No, I like when you say it. Say it again.
Psalm 46.
Yeah. Scotch, right?
There's something that bye my beautiful friends. Thank you for coming. There's a piece in this, and I've been singing it a lot. I'm just assuming that there are many of us that need peace in this country at this time as we see things going backwards when it comes to morality and inclusion. And I was thinking about if I look at the outer world in terms of how often I write songs, which sometimes is, I don't write one every season. There'll be steps forward and steps back. And the longer the song has been around, the more I kind of trust its peace. And this one has been around for, I don't know, when was Psalm 46 written? Probably more than 3,000 years ago.
When was it sung is the real question.
They were sung, they were written to be sung. You're going to need your guitar to join in later.
Oh, later.
Yeah.
I'm at your service, sir. That was sung first. Surely it was passed down orally before.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, yes.
Before the Greeks got a hold of it and put it in the book.
Oh, I'm actually going to first fret. Excuse me.
Capo. You can say it with capo. Capo.
Oh, come behold the works of God, the nations at your feet. You break the bow and bend the spear and tell the wars to cease. O mighty one of all the earth, you stand by our side. We walk by faith in God who burns away the wounds and pride. O God of Jacob, strong and true, lift your voice to speak. The earth it bows and all the mountains move into the sea. Oh Lord, you know the hearts of all, you behold our every breath. Oh God, who makes the mountains melt, come wrestle us and win. Oh God, who makes the mountains melt, come wrestle us within. The oceans roar, you are the Lord of all, the one who calms the wind and makes my heart be still. The earth gives way, the mountains move into the sea, the nations rage, God holds it all. The oceans roar, you are the Lord of all, the one who calms the wind and makes my heart be still. The earth gives way, the mountains move into the sea, the nations rage, God holds it all. God holds it all.
Be still and know that I am God.
Be still and know that I am God.
Be still and know that I am.
Be still and know that I am.
Be still and know that I.
Be still and know that I.
Be still and know that.
Be still and know that.
Be still and know.
Be still and know.
Be still and.
Be still and.
Be still.
Be still.
Be still. Be still and know that I am love.
Be still and know that I am love.
Be still and know that I am.
Be still and know that I am.
Be still and know that I.
Be still and know that I.
Be still and know that.
Be still and know that.
Be still and know.
Be still and know.
Be still and.
Be still and.
Be still.
Be still.
Be still and know that I am light.
Be still and know that I am light.
Be still and know that I am.
Be still and know that I am.
Be still and know that I.
Be still and know that I.
Be still and know that.
Be still and know that.
Be still and know.
Be still and know.
Be still and.
Be still and.
Be still.
Be still.
Be still and know that I am love.
Be still and know that I am love.
Be still and know that I am.
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 Be still and know that.
Be still and know that.
Be still and know.
Be still and know.
Be still and
Be still and
be still.
be still.
There's a reason for repeating songs like that so much. You might have noticed, and I noticed it in myself, and that's why I kept going, that there was a part of my brain that said, okay, I've got it. Okay, I understand the concept of this song. We can be done now. Because that's why we sing, right? Is so we can intellectually understand it. That's what that part of my brain is thinking. And the thing that I've learned in the community singing, I almost said business. There's no business with it. In the community singing community, there we go. In the community of singing is that our brains are wired for radio time of about 3 or 4 minutes. And our Western ego brains say that's the point of a song, is to consume it and then be done with it. But in the rest of time, really interesting things start happening in your body and syncing up with singing at around 7 minutes. And really interesting things start to happen at 14 and 25. And what if you spend more of your life doing that breathing and toning thing with the things that we care about? So I love taking songs like that and singing them for longer.
It was the first Sunday of this month. I played 3 worship services with a lot of rehearsal and a wedding. And I got to the end, I was at St. Paul's doing evensong, utterly empty. I'd been singing for hours that day. And I remember thinking, I wonder if this is what it feels like to be a Catholic priest. Because of just like that entire being a channel, just going from one service to the next. I met a really lovely Catholic priest. He used to come round for supper in Glasgow, and he was just constantly working and constantly being a channel. But it was a really splendid emotional day. I was just so drained, but the process of singing for hours was so beautiful.
He wrote that song, by the way. That's not.
But then we were playing it one time, and Amy said, "You play it too fast." And I, in a huff, said, "Will you play it then?" And she did, and I was like, "Ooh." I wanted to talk a little bit about stillness amongst the chaos, because I think part of what happens is if we drop down that 12 inches, they say, from here to here, that Amy was just describing. That's what we're doing with music, but that's also, there's a chant that I sing a lot. You guys have probably heard it, and it always bothers me that I'm playing guitar, because I just want to do the movements. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in
breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love.
Now that song, the way I play it, demonstrates that that place I'm going to is full of movement. Right? It's like tides and water, and you're in a boat and there's water everywhere. But you're experiencing the world through your heart. And we have a moving world around us. It's moving. Nothing stays the same. And when we try and stay the same, we get sick. The seasons, everything in nature, everything that has pulse, ages, heals, and dies. And part of the stillness for me is tapping into that movement. I spend a lot of time with my dog, watching. Right? You know, a few of you have met my dog. She watches the world. She's got ginormous ears, and she listens, and bearing witness. And it feels like stillness, but there's a lot of movement and change, and that when I drop down through not being in the movement that's up here, all the to-do lists on my iPhone and all the things, and just settle, and it's nature that allows me to do that, or music, or friendship, or many, many things. Making bread. Then I can move with a pulse that just gives me so much life, and I don't get exhausted. I love how energized I am by music. Effortlessness of it. Thank you for listening to me explaining a little bit more deeply that when I'm talking about stillness, there's a whole world of movement in that stillness. An expansive quality.
So, this is a song by a new Christian group called Hillsong United. And when I first heard it, I was really relieved because I was so dismayed at how bad Christian music was. And I would not consider myself a Christian anymore. Just because I think there's too much straying away from Jesus' actual example. And that's the thing I can get on board for. And then I'll hear songs like this one that feel like they cut to the heart of what's possible in relationship between the human and the divine source, wherever and however you qualify, quantify, define that. And it's taking specifically the story in the Bible of when Jesus is walking on the water, the fishermen, his disciples are in the boat, he calms the storm and then he's walking on the water. And Peter, who's in the boat, for whatever crazy reason, and I love just thinking of the personality of this guy, like, I want to go too. Yeah. If you're really Jesus, call me to you and let me walk on water with you. Because by now they've seen that this crazy human who's got these abilities, which is totally the wrong word, like they see that he's not just human, he's something else. And he's like, let me come to you on the water if you're really what you say you are. And then Jesus calls him, and Peter starts walking on the water, and then he starts falling, and he gets freaks out, and he says, Lord, save me, and Jesus is there, and he pulls him up. And I can't remember, he says something pithy like, why couldn't you just believe? And it's like, okay, you're on a stormy sea walking on water. I'm believing, anyway, so there's all kinds of... I would totally
straight in the water.
Straight in the water. And this song feels like it's about orienting towards that powerful divine that is both in the water and the calm in the water. And there's a chorus in it that I just want to sing at the top of my lungs forever. That's all I'm going to say. You call me out upon the water, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, the oceans deep, my faith will stand. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your loving hand will be my guide. Though feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you never failed and you won't start now. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me, and take me deeper than my fear could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of your loving. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me, and take me deeper than my fear could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my love. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine. I am yours, and you are mine.
In the old days, to believe meant to give your heart to. Nothing to do with creeds or believing in miracles. It was what you give your heart to. Think you did all right with that song, my friend.
You know
I
that
love
one.
that song.
Is it older? Because I'm one of those people where if I hear it for the first time, I think it's new. So has that song been around for years and I just haven't
I
heard it?
don't think so.
No,
I don't
it's
think
quite
it's that
new.
old.
Yeah.
I just seek out Christian songs that sound like
YouTube
that.
a few months ago.
Yeah, I came across it
It's
A couple of years ago.
I really
Hillsong United.
Hillsong United, and they play with piano, and it's so
few things
wonderful.
that are just.
And they're cutting right to the heart of it. As I like what Stephen Jenkinson says, it's called Oceans. He says that if you have a religious belief, this is an opinion, but I stand by it. If you have a religious belief, it's got to earn its keep in your life. Really, like within your relationships, within the tough questions, it's got to earn it's got to earn its keep by influencing your behavior and your choices and your investments. I love that.
In Scotland, we don't take the Bible literally. Stupid idea. We don't. And you measure it. You take the truth, you take the peace, and you measure it against what love is. And that's how you discern your way through it.
Oh my God.
Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring the little fishes, bring the sharks, bring them from the brightness, bring them from the dark. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them from the caverns, bring them from the heights, bring them from the shadows, stand them in the light. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them out of Burma, bring them out of storm, bring them out of hiding, lay them at my door. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring the unforgiven, bring the unredeemed, bring the lost and nameless, let them all be seen. Bring them from far, bring them out of sleep, bring them to the portal, lay them at my feet. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a break. So a very cute thing is about to happen.
It's not cute. It's profoundly awesome.
It is. A wonderful thing is about to happen. Yeah.
So there's an amazing being in the audience right now who entered the world 7 years ago. And she wrote a song today. And I was sent a recording of it earlier today that sadly my phone would not let me load, so I had not yet heard the way this beautiful being sings it. And this evening I was handed the lyrics. In her mother's handwriting, yes, which which is already a sacred thing to me because these two are very, very close to my heart. And then just at the intermission, this young 7-year-old being asked me if I would sing the song. And I told her that I was sorry that I didn't know the melody yet. And she said, well, would you make up a melody? So that's what's happening right now. And the words are awesome. And I'm so grateful that you let this song come through. I love you, and you love me too. And together we ride safely on the sea. The tide rolls in, and the tides roll out. Our relatives waiting to give a big shout. And now we are home, safely at last, in our snug warm beds, alas, alas. How was that? Should I try it again? If I can remember.
Goodbye.
Thank you, you two. I have a really delightful thing I get to do at a home church of families out in Chimacum. And I realised that we didn't have any uncles or aunties or grannies, we just had mums and dads and kids. So Amy comes along sometimes to be an auntie, and it's just so beautiful to watch. And sometimes a
Beautiful.
called Heather comes too.
That was by
Thank you for-
Sequoia with the help of Molly writing. And I'm really excited to get home and listen to the recording of you singing it, because she sings it differently than I just did.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I know it's way past your, is it way past your bedtime? Rock on.
What about
Way to party hard.
Let's do a lullaby.
Yeah, let's do some lullaby.
This is a lullaby. Are we thinking about the Maasai? Because there's some stuff going on with them getting kicked off right now, isn't there?
What? The who?
Maasai in Kenya.
They're getting kicked off their
Well, I got the scent of
I
Luke.
have a request. I think it's my brain, but you're talking fast enough that I can't quite get what you're saying. Both of you.
Both of us. Okay.
You're both talking faster than my brain is going.
I
And I
was.
might be the only one.
Well, we're about to sing a lullaby, so that'll help slow me
No.
down. Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. I will slow down my speaking too.
You know the way things filter through your email and you're not quite sure what's happening in the outside world, but you catch glimpses of it. And one of the things I saw was some Maasai man getting evicted from his traditional lands for tourists. And this song's from Kenya. So let's hold the peace while also being aware that there is sometimes not peace, and I don't even know. You know, we get these snippets of information from the outside the world that sometimes not even true.
Can you tell a little more about the song before you sing it, just to honor
So
the
it's,
context of the language?
It's not in the Maasai language, it's in a different language. It's in the Kenyan language that I do not remember the name of. And it's about children, the rains are coming, bring in the cows, the rains are coming. And I think of the rains as life-giving.
And the cows too, for the Maasai people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The herding of their cows is like it's life. It's what they give the most of their human energy.
Like the salmon is for here.
Yeah.
Hi, 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 hi. Cospiro che l'urudo che tala o mampu mem jam Cospiro che l'urudo che tala hai 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 Cospiro che l'urudo che tala o mambo mem jam Cospiro che l'urudo che tala hai 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 hai
Hi, 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 hi.
That song, there's a reason that this whole crew knows that, besides learning it from Simon. It was popularized as part of a movie soundtrack for the movie The Constant Gardener, and there's a really amazing kora player and singer who either wrote it or made it popular, and I need to have his name in my mind. What's his name?
Something droop.
I would say even look it up, particularly because we have folks on the internet. And it's interesting that you just bring up about a man being kicked off his ancestral lands for tourism. I just want to be increasingly aware when I sing a song in a different language about a cultural aspect that's really profound that I can only glimpse. I appreciate, Simon, you bringing it and the quality of honor you do, and I just want to acknowledge that that is a privilege of ours, and I want to do it as consciously as I can. So that's why I'm pausing and saying, can you look up that name so we can thank that person as an individual and support the music that he makes and shares, and feed our privilege with our accountability, as they say. Thank you.
Ayub Ogada.
Say?
Ayub Ogada.
Oh, Ayub Agada.
Thank you.
Ayub Agada.
I don't know how to name.
AYUB space AGADA. The whole album is him playing kora and singing.
This is amazing.
It's incredible.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you for that beautiful song and for sharing the name. So I have to follow that one.
Can I just say one thing first, which is I used to only play my own songs because I wasn't very good at playing other people's. But I had to get over that. So as a way of earning money as a musician, I had to learn other people's songs, because when you're busking and people don't know your songs, they walk past you, but when you sing Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, they give you money. Or if you're standing outside the co-op and somebody comes that wants to sing with you, you sing Summertime and they can sing beautiful harmonies.
And then you start a conversation and travel to Scotland with them. It's all because of singing other people's music.
But there's also, for me, I need to sing more than my own story. I need to put myself in the shoes of another. And I do try and find out whether in that culture it's okay to share songs or not. Like in my culture where I come from, what do you mean you don't want to sing my song out of respect? It's a good song, bloody sing it. But it's also about sharing humanity and recognizing the truth of another. It's a very complex thing.
And it's both.
And it's many things at many times. So I just want to, I'm so grateful that all these people write these amazing songs, these amazing prayers.
From different corners of the world experience.
And we get to, as bardic minstrels, sing them. And then people join in. I don't think it gets much better. I think we could pop our clogs right now. That's a great Scottish expression. It means to die, to pop your clogs.
Oh, I thought it meant to take
Pop your what?
Pop your clogs.
Your shoes. Pop your
Your
clothes.
little shoes go
Like,
shooting.
like put your head back at the end of the day.
We have so many excellent, like your jacket's on a sugary peg. It means you're about to be fired.
What was the one you said today? Is this song naff? I'm like,
It's the
what?
song now.
Naff? Is this what?
And then I had to translate it to pants, and you still didn't know what I was saying.
Is it bad, in other words? Is it naff? Cheesy.
But anyway, I interrupted you. We're going to sing a fine song. What a fine song.
I'm going
We're
to sing a fine
first.
song. Fine song. I love performing with this confidence. Well, again, coming back to the chaos. Coming back to the chaos and the stillness.
Oh yes, that's our theme. Yes, thank you.
Coming back to the theme of finding stillness in chaos and using song to do it. This song came through as a gift to a young one when she was coming of age. I was her guitar teacher, this amazing, splendid being who's now out of, I think she's graduating from college this year with a degree in music, just like splendid kid. I would teach her guitar warm-ups, and then the next week she would take those warm-ups and turn them into a song. Has an amazing singing voice. When she was young, she was the first young child I had ever seen singing with her whole heart and her eyes closed. I had never really seen that before. thought she was having a coming of age ceremony, and I was like, I didn't have a coming of age ceremony. How can I honor a kid who's further along than I am? And then I realized that's the job of adulthood, is to have them start sooner and further than we did, and give them all the best that we can. And I try to think, what do I know that I would want to share with her? And I thought of this line from a song that said, enjoy your body. Don't be afraid of it, or use it any way you can. Don't be afraid of it, or what if anyone else thinks of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. And I started thinking of my own body, and then this formula came through, and it became a meditation of thanks to my own body. And just this year, I had a pretty intense health scare where I was actually feeling like I was having stroke symptoms. It was really just stress, but it freaked me out because my mother has had a stroke, several. And I knew what it was like to watch somebody's brain unravel and watch the way they change. And Lawrence drove me to the hospital, and I had a panic attack on the way. And when I was in the hospital waiting, for the doctor to come talk to me, I started singing this song. And it was because it was one of those things where I was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to lose the ability to sing any moment. That's how freaked out I was. Honestly, I should have known by then that I wasn't going to, but I sang this whole song, and I never sang it so fervently because for all I knew, it was the last time I'd be able to say thank you.
Yeah.
And there's something about that kind of thanks. There's something about that kind of thanks where we just really realize what we have. So, for all of our problems, remember that we're having them in a human body that is faithfully beating a heart for us, and faithfully breathing, and faithfully standing us up and looking around, and what a miracle it is to have consciousness and to have language to communicate with each other. And that's just the start of what we get. So this is just saying thank you to those starts. And the chorus you can sing on if you want to, but really just take a moment and be in not the stillness, but the splendid verb of your own body. See if you get called to be thankful for it. Breathe in and out, from first to last. Take it all in, then let it pass. Oh, body, mind, beautiful body, mind. Oh, body, mind, beautiful body, mind. Body, mind, my body. Sinew and bone, you twist and tie, sending me up into the sky. Oh, body, mind, beautiful body, mind. Oh, body, mind, beautiful body, mind.
This is by Over the Rhine. Pour me a glass of wine. We'll talk late into the night. Who knows what we'll find? Intuition, deja vu, the Holy Ghost haunting you. Whatever you got, I don't mind. 'Cause I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love, gonna learn to love without fear. I'll put my elbows on the table, then I'll listen long as I am able. There's nowhere I'd rather be. Secret fears are supernatural. Thank God for this new laughter. Thank God the joke's on me. 'Cause I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love, gonna learn to love without fear. So pour me a glass of wine. We'll talk late into the night. Who knows what we'll find? I'll put my elbows on the table, and then I'll listen long as I am able. There's nowhere I'd rather be. 'Cause I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love, gonna learn to love without fear. Love without fear. Love without fear. Love without fear.
learn to love through my tears. And I was born to love, gonna learn to love without fear.
Thank you. Aimee, unfortunately, I have to answer.
I think that's a good idea, actually.
We do. Because I have a
Stuff
life
to do.
waiting, and I have volunteers, and the energy is getting into the lullaby time. Do you have a beautiful song for us?
A beautiful, I was going to play an ugly song.
Oh, yeah, play another song. I think it was the troll song.
Ugly is beautiful.
Play the ugly song beautiful.
Do you want to do Deep Peace?
I do.
No, I'm good. So, I want to thank James Curtis. James Island.
You get it right.
I want to thank James Island sitting there. Because it was while borrowing your gorgeous flamenco guitar, this beautiful classical guitar that has a low end that just...
You have a crush on that
I
guitar.
have...
Yes.
Yeah, I do. A crush on that guitar. But I was playing it, and I was playing it with a drop D. And I started playing a song that I learned in youth group back when I was 14. And no, like 13. And it was kind of the first song that I cared about playing well. If I recall, it was like the first song I cared about playing well. And again, having moved away from the Christian faith, but it's still my heritage. It's still where I began and where I orient towards, and there's things about it worth keeping.
Oh, yeah.
And this song is definitely one of them. But it's not. It's true.
You didn't hear me. You heard me tell the. I'm blushing now because you heard me tell that story on Tuesday about deciding to be a disciple.
Which, and again, you have redeemed so many things about the Christian faith for me just because it's really cool to see it embodied in a way that's not. So when are you going to convert your life to Jesus Christ? Like, there are ways where it's done nowadays that's just so capitalistic and
There's that
colonistic.
wonderful phrase. I don't get about to sing a song, but they say that Christianity started as a Jewish experience, right? And then it jumped over to Greece. There came a philosophy.
Oh,
And
no,
then-
the Roman Empire first.
No, then the Romans got it and they made it into an institution.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then the Europeans did something to it as well.
Yeah, I think that's what they did.
I don't remember. But
it all.
I need to learn this. I need to learn this. And then it came to America and it became a business.
So, oddly enough, I'm an American.
Yeah.
And there's a way where I learned it in the midst of the business, but I learned it from people who were good people and who were a stable force in my life after we had moved to New Mexico and I was just becoming pubescent and like didn't know where to orient my heart. I didn't know how to fit in school, but I knew something about God. God and church made sense to me, and we happened to have really amazing youth group leaders who one of them handed me a guitar and handed me like all of the songs for our youth group and taught me like 2 chords. And as soon as I started playing the guitar, I had a job.
I love that person, whoever that was.
Sean Love.
We should
Thank you,
start
Sean.
Shaman.
And Penny, Love. Oh my God. This amazing young couple who were just such a stable force for a lot of us. Taught us how to think critically and talk critically about what we were learning in church, and just would take us on these amazing hikes all over New Mexico and Colorado and just give us stuff to do as young ones, where I would have otherwise been pretty lost. And as soon as I started playing, I had a job that I gave myself because I knew that music was beautiful and that love was beautiful, and the way I understood love and God were beautiful, and I wanted to play as beautifully as I could. those things that I understood. And it was when I was picking up James's guitar that I found this kind of new way to play this song that I had in my heart since I was 13. So, this is a song by Petra, the 80s Christian rock band. And talk about finding calm in the chaos, finding stillness. It's about orienting to the path that love has laid out inside of us and how we walk it with faithfulness and what that's like. So that's where I still carry this song in me. It's called Road to Zion. There is a way that leads through life, the ones that find it never die. Past mountain peaks graced white with snow, the way grows brighter as it goes. There is a road inside of you, inside of me there is one too. No stumbling pilgrim in the dark, the road to Zion's in your heart. The road to Zion's in your heart. A river runs beside the road, its waters living as they flow. In liquid voice the water calls, on thirsty knees the pilgrim falls. There is a road inside of you, inside of me there is one too. No stumbling pilgrim in the dark, the road to Zion's in your heart. The road to Zion's in your heart. Sometimes a shadow dark and cold lays like a mist across the road, but be encouraged by the sight. Where there's a shadow, there's a light. There is a road inside of you, inside of me there is one too. No stumbling pilgrim in the dark, the road to Zion's in your heart. The road to Zion's in your heart. Sometimes it's good to look back now. We've come so far, we've gained such ground. But joy is not in where we've been. Joy is who's waiting deep within. There is a road inside of you, inside of me there is one too. No stumbling pilgrim in the dark, the road to Zion's in your heart. The road to Zion's in your heart. The road to Zion's in your heart.
There is a peace that the harmonies hold. It's here among us. And if we can recall it when we've lost our peace, it will help us grow our hearts and be centers in this room really strongly right now. So remember the time of day and the light and the feeling of temperature in your body. Anchor the feeling that we have here. And next time you're really lonely and lost, remember the tenderness and the warmth. Because it doesn't just exist in this moment on time, we can access it by going into our bodies. I just wanted to say that before we end, because this is so beautiful and precious. And I'm very grateful for you guys bringing your voices and your beautiful hearts. And Aimée, thank you for being a true friend and a really huge support of the work I do in the world.
You're amazing, sir. Thank you for supporting all of us in the work that we do, in spirit and in truth.
Oh, it's an honor to witness beautiful people. And I remember when I felt called to be a minister, and I was like, okay. And then I realized I had to be a minister in a way that didn't exist yet. And my insecurity went, oh, I don't know how to do that. And then I heard laughing in my head. And I realized, why would God ask me to do something I don't know how to do? And that's when I realized my job is to love people. And I was like, I can do that, okay.
You really can, sir.
So I said yes to it.
So glad you said yes. You say yes all the time.
So I pay people to come to my concerts just so that I can love them. It's good. Please join me in our last song. It's okay if you don't know the right words, that really doesn't matter. Deep peace of running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the Son of Peace to you. The moon and stars pour their healing light on you. La 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 la. Deep peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the Son of Peace to you. The moon and stars pour their healing light on you. La 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 Deep peace of the running way to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the Son of Peace to you. The moon and stars pour their healing light on you. La 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 passes all understanding, go with you as you go home tonight. And for you guys who are already home and in your beds, may it be there under the blankets with you. Amen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for coming. The next Grateful Harmony is Friday, the 21st of September. A wonderful guitarist called Michael Mandrell. Amazing guitarist.
Oh, yeah.
I think he doesn't sing, so I'll have to do all the singing.
Does he talk?
Yes.
Okay, good. That helps.
Yes, he's a wonderful guitarist.
Leo Kopke was like that. Like his singing was great, but his stories are like the thing that I would go to a concert for.
So thank you. Good night.
Hey, everybody, thank you. Thank you so much.
Good night, people.